is up, everybody? This is not a Ryan Cross Project podcast or RCP podcast for short. No, this is our brand new show. This is called the RCP Writers Room. Your eyes do not deceive. We are rewriting the DCEU. Why? Because we gotta. This thing needs help. But I'm not doing this alone. I have with me David Lees, who I met through Jack of All Trivia. Comic book and IG division, actually. So, David, is it David or Dave? Or can I go either?
Either way, Dave's preferred, but David's fine.
Okay, Dave. Sorry, I don't know why I keep saying David. I don't know. Anyway, so Dave, everyone on this show has a nickname. I'm pretty sure you picked up on that by now. What would your nickname to be, or do you just want to just use your JO18 name?
Well, JO8, my Jack of All Trivia name's Ari the Dragon, and you know what? I'm gonna burn right through this podcast, so let's just keep that. So
all right.
the dragon's
Nice, the dragon. Nice, all right. Let's hope we don't drag on this a little anymore. So, you know. And yes, if I had a pun counter, I would have it ticked at 1. So that's what it would be. Okay.
Ding, ding, ding.
Not even ding, 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 just more like TFS's drink. Ding. Alright. So, first thing we're going to start off with is Man of Steel. Why? Because there are some things I think could have improved on that movie, but that's just me. Where do you stand on... Where did you stand, rather, on Man of Steel when it came out? Did you like it? Did you not? Let's discuss the movies as we go through them.
Man of Steel is actually one that I really loved when it came out, and I was one of those people who were saying from the get-go, yeah, he should have snapped Zod's neck. That was something that needed to happen. And I didn't care about the destruction as much because it was his first 5 hours on the job. He's not Superman yet. You can't blame him for that. It's a movie that I've only grown to love more and more as the time goes on.
Okay, cool. Now, I gotta ask this because I think this was the second or third movie out. And hopefully we're gonna get to it. If not this episode, hopefully the next, because we got a few movies that go through it, which is the proper way to do it. What did you think of BVS? We'll start there.
Well, BVS was a movie that when it came out, I was the guy saying, you know what, guys? They nailed it. That's my Batman. That's exactly what I want. I don't care the Batman kills. And you know what? Then the Ultimate Edition came out, and I was like, I don't get what everyone's hating about.
Okay.
I don't see it.
Okay, cool.
And, I rewatched it about a month ago, and I'd like to make a public apology to everyone who I disrespected. It's not a good movie. Not a good movie. Batman in the Warehouse is still probably the coolest Batman scene of all time. But But that's just how I feel about that. Other than that, I can't really complain about the movie. Can't really support the movie.
Fair enough. All right, so let's jump back to Man of Steel here, because there are a few things that I would have added or changed to it, or added a couple of things here and there. So the changes I would have had, and I know you can see this too. The world engine is not run by any one person. It's more of an operating system. So it's it's ran by a brain interactive construct, i.e. Brainiac, if you're a Smallville fan like I am. So I'll just throw that in there for all the nerds out there.
Who else is listening? Nerds.
I'm sorry?
I said, who else is listening if not nerds, right?
Exactly. All right, and this was running on the eradication protocol. That's what that would have been to set it up as, because we have the world engine just eradicating the planet's population already. Kind of like the first settlers and Native Americans. But I'm not going to go there. So,
political.
Oof. I mean, what Frank Miller comic doesn't have politics? I mean, what comic book movie doesn't have politics nowadays?
That's fair.
So, we're getting there anyway. So Zod's next snap still happens because that was something that, as you said, needed to happen because it's the guy.
He had no other choice.
Yeah, it was like, I can't take this guy to the moon. He'll fly back and follow me and still kick my ass. I don't think so. So so I did say there is.
And this is before Kryptonite.
I'm sorry.
I said, and this is before Kryptonite existed, so there's no way even to hold Zod.
Right. And it's like, and there's I put in quotes, throwaway line where he's like, we had to jettison a dangerous weapon from the craft we were on, just kind of, again, something so small, it's throwaway, because I think Marvel's done that so often. It's like, oh, there's this other thing, and then this thing turns out to be this important thing later on. I'm like, oh, okay. I still like
just world building, right?
Exactly. It's like I like how Lois found out Clark's secret. That would stay because it works. Because if she's gonna be next to this dude forever, in the copy room or the newsroom or whatever, there's no way she's not gonna put two and two together. Everyone else may not because they don't have as much interaction with him. But if it's like Lois from friggin' Smallville, and they're going on like working articles and such together. I was about to say cases, which could be the same thing, but whatever. There's no way she's not going to put two and two together. Especially if all of her main interviews are from Superman, which makes
Wait a minute, you look just like that Clark Kent guy.
Exactly. And that's one of the things I liked. I think it was Superman 2, the Christopher Reeve Superman 2. She's like, she literally drew glasses, a hat, and a suit on Superman and figured it out. She's like, oh, it's like, yeah. I know who you are. He goes, what are you talking about? She goes, don't downplay it. You're bad at it. So it's like, of course, that's me paraphrasing the whole thing and putting it in common vernacular, which is great.
Of course.
So Lex Luthor Senior, or if you want to call him Lionel, again from Smallville for all of us fans, it'd be great. It's fine. With Alexander.
Somebody save
me! Dude, I got this. I'm gonna say this real quick, and this is my Smallville nerd showing. From season 1 to season 10, I have at least all of the season openers and enders for each season.
Oh, damn.
So I got the pilot episode. So in theory, I can say I have every episode that's needed from season 1 to season 10. And I have a majority of season 10 already. And I'm like, I feel okay about this. I am fine with my life choices. But yeah. And Alexander Luthor is hinted at in passing. But in my little... If I'm playing with house money, I'm casting Luthor Sr. as Bryan Cranston. I don't know how you feel about that.
Oh, that's a good choice.
Or even better, could just be John Glover again, but he that's fine too. Although he would have a role in Shazam, which I don't think I've written a Shazam movie, to be honest with you. I think I just skipped that part. Holy crap! I did not.
Hopefully, we can get to that.
I did not write a Shazam movie. I'm flipping through all these pages. I didn't write one. Oops. Oops. Whatever. Anyway.
Oh, that movie's fine anyway.
All right. It's fine as is. It's its own little thing.
Yeah.
So, what do you think so far? Anything you would add? You would change? You got any kind of notes for my notes?
I like the addition of extra world building. Where would Lex Luthor how would he factor into the movie exactly? Because he wasn't in the original Man of Steel. So where is he kind of coming in?
I'm glad you asked that because I had no answer for this and I wasn't even thinking about this. It's like you would have him, I guess, again, just kind of in passing, because the focus is mainly on, like, finding out who this new Superman is, finding out, how this Lois fits into the whole thing, and Zod and that whole thing. If anything, the whole uncovering of this, what they thought was a submarine, would not have been done by the military. It would have been done by LexCorp for some, like, I guess you could say oil drilling thing, because all the Arctic has really not been tapped, as far as I know, as far for oil drilling, I guess. So you could play that angle, and they just found this thing, and they're like, well, we're going to investigate this, and that's when they call in Luther, and then about a day or two later, that's, instead of it being Colonel, what's his name? The guy from SVU. Loner SVU.
Yeah, Mahoney something.
It's a good thing we don't...
Christopher Maloney?
That sounds right, but I'm not sure. But it's a good thing that's not a question, otherwise we both would have gotten it wrong.
I'm glad that's where you're bringing him in. I think that's the perfect spot for him. He doesn't overshadow anything.
Right.
And you could even throw him in at the end that it's one of his drones instead of the military that Clark throws down on the ground.
Well, actually, no. I would actually, like, once the Zod thing happened, I would still keep that scene. Because one funny thing happened, and I don't think if this was... I mean, unless you had it be Mercy, but that would make no sense. That one Ferris cadet, and she's like, nothing, sir. It's like... He's just kind of hot. I was like, oh, come on, really? Like... Really?
Yeah, you know what? We can keep that. That saves the film. Let's go picture right there.
I mean, it's not that it saves the picture. It's just, it's a little levity because they're... No, because the thing before that, which I thought was always so on cue, was the military would be on point about if he fought this guy who was just like him and they destroyed the thing in process, then they don't know if he was trying to save anything or not, which he probably wasn't because it was his first shift, not even his first day as Superman, it was his first shift. You know? Yeah. They're going to be like,
no.
How do we know you won't work against our interests? Like, dude, I was raised in Kansas. I'm about as American as it gets. You know? That's
one of my favorite lines in any Superman movie ever. And just the way that Henry Cavill delivers it there is just so fantastic.
Yeah. It's like, I don't know. I guess I'll just have to trust you. I'm like, that's so cool. But it's also like, fair play.
So Superman.
It is. It really is.
Yeah.
Now, so we all agree on how that kind of shapes and how that worked out? We're good?
Yeah, I also like the addition without spoiling anything in the future, what that jettison pod was.
Yeah, yeah. Because it was funny, because like, as I was writing this, I was also formulating that other idea that I had, that I told you about, and I want to get to that later on. But we'll get to that. Now, the next movie is called The Batman.
Whoa, they can't get that off the ground, and you're doing it right away.
It's in development hell. Spoiler alert, I've already written it. Sort of. I got the basic concept down. Now, quick thing. I'm using this frame of reference that Ben Affleck is still Batman. Are you okay with this, or do you want to recast Batman?
I love Ben Affleck as an older, more grizzled Batman, and I think he's still fantastic as long as we can keep him caring about the film like he was in BVS. I think we'll have a great Ben Affleck.
Okay,
Batman.
So you're saying as long as we have BVS Batman and not Justice League Batman. Gotcha.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I have both movies. I can say that. I've seen the difference. I'm like, yeah, those muscles are in the suit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, we can agree, I was going to say PVS. I'll say Bruce Wayne. God damn it.
Ben Affleck.
Thank you. Still
Ben Affleck is Batman.
Okay, cool. Batfleck is still a thing. Cool. Now, in this movie, there are, I should put in air quotes, 3? Technically 4 villains, if you want to count Joker and Harley Quinn as 2 different ones. But it's Joker with Harley, then it's Riddler, and quite separately Deathstroke. Now, what I call the B and C plots are going to sound a little bit Arkham-y, and that's a good thing, because I like those. Even Origins, but I'm like, you know. But, and we'll say Batman's been around for 5 years or so? You know? If that works. which brings me, because I never got to casting these two. I would love to keep Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. Who would you cast as Joker? Or would you keep Jared Leto?
See, I think if you're keeping Margot Robbie, Jared Leto fits as her Joker, but I'm not super attached to him as the Joker. So we can recast that, but I got no ideas for him. For the Riddler, though, I don't know if you have a casting choice for that, but I have one that I'd be pretty excited about.
Well, the first name that pops to my mind for the Joker would be Jake Gyllenhaal. You know,
crossing those Marvel lines.
I mean, why not? I mean, let's see. I know someone who did. I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, Ryan Reynolds, but we don't talk about his other movie. Or should I say other movies? There's 3 of them.
Yeah.
Hence why Hal Jordan's not in my Green Lantern movie. Spoilers. So there's Jake Gyllenhaal. I'm trying to think of another person. I mean, you can go ahead and tell me your Riddler person.
Gyllenhaal's an interesting. Gyllenhaal's a very interesting choice for him.
Yeah. Unless you want to have someone who is just about as old, same age as I don't know if this would be true though, as Batman. I was thinking Willem Dafoe, but that's a little too weird if we have.
I think he's a little.
Yeah. I was like, Margot Robbie, Willem Dafoe. Something doesn't add up here.
Yeah.
That's like Adam Sandler and Selma Hayek being in a movie as a married couple. I'm like, that just doesn't work. It doesn't work at all.
Yeah.
Looking at you, grown-ups. So, taking shots everywhere I can. So, who is your pick for, what's it called? Riddler.
So, Riddler to me has always been one of my favorite villains. And he is someone who requires a bit of theatricality and also the perfect level of cheese, because the Riddler at his core is maybe one of Batman's corniest villains, but also one of his most sinister. And for that, I'd go with a Neil Patrick Harris, someone who, you know, he's got the right like slender build for it, but then if you see his performance in something like a Gone Girl, you can see that he can get to that level of like creepiness, but also has the dramatic flair to pull off some of those just insane riddles and death traps,
right?
Without you eye rolling the entire time.
But you know what's really funny though about Neil Patrick Harris, and I didn't even think about it, although I should have. He's been a Batman villain before.
Music Meister, yeah.
Yes! I'm so happy you caught that. I was like, I'm just going to lob this up and see if he can spike it. And he does.
I wanted him for live action Music Meister in Flash, but didn't tap?
Yeah, they went with the Glee casting.
Yeah.
Well, TV actor for TV money, which is fine, I guess. I'm just happy that guy's working. Yeah, okay, so that works. But I like Ryan Gosling. No, I was about to say Ryan Gosling, son of a gun. Jake Gyllenhaal as the Joker. So we're gonna stick with that for right now.
Okay.
That way we can kind of keep this going. So we got, and it doesn't look as creepy as Willem Dafoe, because that would just be super awkward. That'd be super awkward. Let's see here. Okay, so the A plot, which would keep the movie going, would be a more skewed political-esque thing, which I thought would be kind of cool, because it shows that, because Joker's main thing, if I'm reading this correctly, or depending on who's writing him, in this case us, are going to say something along the lines of, it's like, he's going to show you that it doesn't take, I mean, this was done in, let me start over. I'm taking my Joker concept from 2 things. The laughing fish, and, what was the other one? A killing joke. Because, the laughing fish, because Batman says, the only person that Joker's plans make sense to is the Joker himself. I might be paraphrasing that just a bit, but that's still the same thing. It's the same point. Now, as far as the killing joke, his whole thing is, there's a bit, and it's a little bit in The Dark Knight too, as well. There's a little bit of psycho in all of us. And to quote the Joker himself, insanity is like gravity. All it takes is a little push. And that's what we have here. We have Joker and we have Harley going after the mayor of Gotham. I don't know who I would pick for this one because I know it's not going to be Quincy Sharp, because that would be stupid. And the Warden of Arkham, because Arkham is so unsecure, but it still has round-the-clock security, which is an oxymoron.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so you have a revolving door with a camera. Got it. And that's its round-the-clock security.
That's all you need, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, right? It's like, I can see how Arkham works, too. You promise to never do it again? Yes. Okay, you're good.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, go.
Someone's got to keep Batman employed.
Yeah, right. So what's your superpower again? I'm rich. I want that line in this movie. I want that line in this movie.
I think you would definitely get hard to say that to Batman.
Yeah.
And I think it would fly really well.
Yeah, but then it'd be like, it would also be kind of a giveaway. It's like, no. It's like, to open the movie, they kidnap Bruce Wayne to get some kind of ransom or to get Batman to show up. Harley looks over at Batman or Bruce and be like, well, everyone's got powers nowadays. What would your power be? He's like, I already have a power. She goes, really? What is it? I'm rich. that would be the way to do it.
Yeah.
And Gosling, or I keep saying Gosling, Jonah will be like, shut up, Holly. Just further driving in that animated series, just kind of like obsession with Batman, to where he doesn't like Harley anymore. Not that he doesn't like her, he just kind of just blows her off, which I thought was funny. But yeah, so we have our opening scene, which is great. So yeah,
so they're kidnapping the mayor of Gotham and the warden of Arkham Asylum.
Right.
To what end?
Just to show how bad this city actually is, and it's not so much how badly they need Gotham, but how bad its citizens are, because they erupted this corrupt mayor who obviously has ties to Falcone, because why not? And how poor their system is due to Arkham and everyone escaping every other Tuesday, if you're Dent. For Arkham. So you can see how the balances are tipped in one favor, in one way. But in the whole, we can tip the things back, but you can only save one kind of thing. And Batman, of course, saves them both. Kind of a Two-Face, Riddler, Batman Forever. Which one are you going to save, Batman? Which is more important? The leader of the city, or the one who runs essentially the jail cell, air quotes.
Yeah.
So there's that. The B plot.
Politics versus plot.
Exactly. The B plot would be the Riddler. Robbing banks and high-tech companies, i.e. Wayne Tech and everything else. To what end, we don't know yet. But he does leave behind riddles, challenges, and I would say trophies, but that'd be a little too on the nose. No, it's like there would be what we know as both gamers and nerds as Riddler trophies. On the bottom would be the friggin' riddle. It's like
the riddle.
So great. So Batman would just have a wall of these riddles, trying to figure out what do they mean. because
it'd be interesting.
Go ahead.
It'd be interesting if you could get if we could get something where Riddler was also intentionally leaving them to when you got like a bunch of them together or something, they'd form like a bomb, kind of a la the Spider-Man PS4 game. So he blows up the Batcave or something.
Nice.
I don't know, just a concept.
But along that line, though, there is a if you put them together, then this is very much Batman Forever-esque. if you put the clues together, they're always involving numbers, or they're always involving something that's, points to something bigger.
Yeah.
Like 13, whatever else. It's like Mr. E, mystery, or enigma. I'm like, really? Did you have to put that together, Mr. World's Greatest Detective? Okay. But they get us. But we're all watchers. We see all. We know all. It's all right. So there I am crossing brands again.
Yeah.
So the C plot, which will last more than 2 movies. This is also Arkham-esque, more Arkham Origins-esque. So towards the end of it, or somewhere in the middle, Deathstroke would just not take a pot shot, but like kind of come out of nowhere and just start attacking Batman. Okay, so it's like here's my idea. I just had this. So while Batman is casing the scene at, let's say, Wayne Tech or something, just make it easy, casing the crime scene area, friggin' Deathstroke comes up out of nowhere and just starts trying to attack Batman with like bow staffs, swords, guns, and all this other crap. It's like, what the heck? It's like, this is one bad night for Batman. So, and this actually sets up the, what's it called? Actually, no, I'll forget. We'll leave it as is. This would be like Black Mask. This is also introducing another character, Black Mask, who has put out a hit on Batman because he's been ruining his businesses for the past 5 years. So, there you go. That's how that all works. And, of course... Go ahead.
That's a lot. That is a lot.
I know. But like I said, it's not... They're not all taking up like a half hour of the movie. The overarching thing is when they're trying to chase down Joker, Riddler's also doing this other thing. And then Deathstroke's coming out of nowhere for like 20 minutes. And, doing all stuff, dropping a smoke bomb and then going away. So he can be off doing his own thing.
Okay.
So it's not going to be the whole thing. So I just lumped a couple of things together because that's just how that would flow. Because it's like, while you're doing this, someone's got a gun behind you and they're going to shoot you in the back of the head. Why? Because you're Batman. And nobody likes you, apparently. So that's how that works.
It makes a lot of enemies.
Yeah, he does. So yeah, so that would be the Batman movie so far. Any notes, stuff like that so far?
I really like all three of the plots. Are you keeping Joe Manganiello, or however you say his name, is Deathstroke? Because you better be.
Of course. Why would I not?
Maybe the best part of Justice League
was in post-credit scene. Yeah.
Doesn't say a word.
Yep.
But yeah, I really like that. I really like that. I also like the fact that in this post-Avengers, post-everything world, I think audience will also be accepting of all of these different villains showing up to fuck with Batman. Yeah. Also, Batman is such a recognizable rogues gallery,
of course,
that I think it would be really cool to see all of these people and how they interact with each other.
Right. It's like, and
would you have?
Go ahead.
Would you have like Riddler and stuff ever have any interactions with the Joker, or would they kind of be separate entities?
For right now, they would be separate entities, but would I have a Batman 66 movie? Sure. where I have friggin' Joker, Penguin, Catwoman, and Riddler. Sure, why not? I mean, I wouldn't mind. It'd be great. But I don't know how that...
I think that's the right call.
Yeah. It's like, because that stuff's kind of happened before. Will I get to a thing where it's maybe the war of jokes and riddles? Sure. That sounds like fun. But right now, we're in the baby steps of this whole... Let's call it an enterprise. No, that sounds too much like Star Trek. Let's call it an experiment, if you will. And so we're laying the groundwork for all this. So...
The DC movie universe experiment, DCEU. Oh wait, no, we can't call it that anymore. DCE.
DCE.
I guess there's
No, DC's Experimental Universe. DCEU. Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't work. DCMU. DCMU.
The DC knew you.
Yeah, pretty much, I guess. So when do we reboot? We just started. So when do we reboot? Oh, God.
Every 5 years if you're the comics.
Yeah, right? Every 2 if it's a soft reboot. Every 5 if it's a hard reboot. Okay, so next is Wonder Woman. And I can't help but hear Wonder Woman in the back of my head every time I say that. I don't know why.
I just hear.
I love that riff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, this was more of a make changes, rather than a what is it? Than a full rewrite.
Rather than a remake.
Yeah, or just a new idea from scratch. Because I like a lot of what was set up. I would have said make Ares a bigger deal, meaning like cast a bigger guy, I guess. And don't just have him be this, because I didn't mind his CG look so much, but it's like that's not how that would have worked in my head. It's like he's literally magic. He's literally a god. So it's like have him be able to shed this human illusion and actually turn into the god that we would most recognize him as. I.e., like the, I was about to say Joker. I was about to say, or like the Ares from Injustice. You know, gray skin, red eyes, obvious Greek mythology behind it? Is it Greek?
Yep.
Okay, good.
It's Greek.
I was like, I forgot, because I didn't want to say the wrong one, and I think, yeah, Hercules is Greek as well, isn't it? Isn't he? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I'm thinking of the Disney movie.
Yeah, me too. So I was like, I don't remember Ares being in the Hercules movie. I don't remember that at all. But yeah, and I would just say redo the third act, because once you have Ares not be a CG character and turn him into a CG character, I think you have a bit more room to do things a bit differently, not just have it on this one landing strip, you know, with all this ammunition and such. I'm like that. And no one would. And here's the worst part: this is like a military base. No one notices the guy in huge armor fighting the woman who's been thwarting a lot of your problems in this war. No one would recognize that.
To be fair, if I'm a soldier and I'm seeing that, I'm just gonna walk the other way. I'm not gonna deal with that.
It's like in friggin' what was it? Either Mask of the Phantasm. No, Mystery of Batwoman. Thug opens the door. The thug with the black eye opens the door. Sees Batman. Closes the door. It's like, anything in there? Nope. It's like, smart man. That has to be the smartest goon / thug in all of DC.
Yeah.
He's like, anything in there? Nope. Just, let's go. But yeah, that's just about as much as I'm thinking for that. What are your thoughts?
I really, I agree with that one a lot. The only, I don't know how you would do it, but I like everyone, really disliked the third act of Wonder Woman. But I think, amazingly, if they had just ended the movie where she kills the general, whatever his name is.
The guy who played
Stryker. But then realizes,
yeah.
Sorry?
The guy who played Stryker in Origins. X-Men Origins.
Yes. Brian Cox is the other guy, but I can't. Anyway, if they had just ended it there with him, like maybe he gets a little bit more souped up, and she realizes it's not Ares manipulating this. People are flawed, and now I have to go out and be
a symbol of peace.
Be better. Lead by example. And stuff. It's not some mystical force. It's just years of mistreatment by each other that's led to this moment. But then we don't get the superhero third act fight scene. So I'm not really sure how to accommodate for that, but I think your idea of just bigger Ares may work better. And I agree, casting, even though I really do like David Thewlis, I think a more well-established actor without a mustache would go a long way.
I mean, what's a bad guy if he can't twirl his mustache?
Well, maybe he could have lost the mustache when he put the armor on, but
fair enough.
It's still poking through.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, okay. So anyways, we got that done. So we're good with that. The next one is The Flash. And needless to say, shamelessly, this is basically just Flash the series, the movie. That's basically what I got here.
It ain't broke.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, you can probably still fix it. Unless you're DC, if it ain't broke, you can probably still screw it up. Sorry. Gotta take shots when they're, I can't leave that door open and not slam it in someone's face. But okay, so I would introduce mid-credit stingers in this, with this movie, because we would see yellow and red streaks, meaning friggin' like reverse flash. I was about to
Reverse
say,
Flash.
yeah. Oh, just kind of have that come back, and just have like, I don't know. Maybe we should. I don't know if I would introduce Gideon, but it's like, where am I? It's like it says the year the movie came out. It was like, perfect, and then just done. That would be the mid-credit stinger.
Yeah.
It's like, where am I? It's like, what? Or not where? When am I? Throwing a number out there. 2014. Perfect. And then done. Of course, the voice is distorted because I don't know who we would cast yet. So.
No.
But the Rogues.
We're writers, not cast.
Right. We're writers. We're not casting. Yeah, you just said casting directors, didn't you?
Yeah.
Damn it! You took my joke. It's like, damn it, man! I'm a doctor, not a physicist.
Even though we did spend the first half of the Batman pitch casting everybody, so.
Well, I mean, for stuff like that, we kind of have to like recast and rework as we go, because that's a part of this whole thing.
That's fair.
Oh, I am keeping Ezra Miller as the Flash.
Okay.
I don't know how.
Are we giving him any?
Go ahead.
Are we giving him better direction?
I mean, I kind of like the direction he had, but it's like if we kept him as this dorky kind of almost Perks of Being a Wallflower-esque Ezra Miller, that would be cool. Just not good.
I really like Ezra Miller. I think he's a really, really interesting actor. I'm not going to go out on a limb and say great or anything.
Right.
I think he's an interesting actor.
Yeah.
I think you just tone him down about 5% to what he was in Justice League, and I think you got a great Barry Allen. Well, you had a great Wally West in Barry Allen's skin.
Yeah. But so we're skipping the whole origin part of this because I think by now it may have been done to death. I mean, because we keep seeing the Flash series, and I'm guessing whoever's seeing this is seeing the Flash show. So it's like we don't need to reiterate the Flash thing. If anything, he could be talking to somebody. I don't know. I would say Iris, but that's a little too much too soon, I guess. Because this is when he's still like on his own. He hasn't really built much up for himself.
Maybe he's talking to his dad.
Well, his dad wouldn't know who he is, though. Like, as far as the Flash.
Yeah, that's true. Prison.
Maybe it's like an intro thing. It's like with the Incredible Hulk. Just have it like in the opening credit sequence. Just do it that way.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's like
that works.
Yeah, because it's like otherwise you have this almost Into the Spider-Verse like, okay, let's do this one more time. For real this time. Last time.
Yeah.
I was bitten by a radioactive spider. I got all these powers. My uncle died. My friends died. Everyone died. I'm miserable. I'm somehow also Nicolas Cage. This is weird. But, you know, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Best
My
Nicolas-
mother's name is also Martha.
You're right. Boy. Anyway. So, we would start with the rogues. I would slowly start integrate them in. Again, Barry's been around for at least a year. He's still learning a few things about his abilities, but he's not mastered them yet. There is no reason we should have Flashpoint in this. That would be stupid.
No, that was the biggest mistake they were ever talking about.
Yeah, it's like, Flashpoint, how about no? It's like, how about we do Flashpoint, guys? How about you keep your pants on for like 5 minutes, huh? Anyway.
Yeah.
But, we'd start with Captain Cold. With powers. No cold gun. Not yet. Because I think it's interesting if everyone in the dark... I mean, because he gets them from the same explosion that he did in the show. Only difference is, you don't see the... Oh my gosh. How they get affected. It's more of they get affected, and there's no question that it was due to the particle accelerator, dark matter, cloud, lightning thing. Yeah. Because once they got released into the air, everyone got their own abilities for their own way. So, could he have had a cold gun before this? Like a lightning bolt shot the gun and it mutated his DNA with all of that? Sure, do it that way. But I still like the whole, he has actual powers and not just a gun. Because you can lose the gun and be powerless.
Yeah.
You can have the gun, you can have the powers and still be dangerous. You know? That makes sense?
Yep.
Okay.
Now, with Captain Cold, though, are you going to adopt the classic, he's a villain but he doesn't kill people moniker? Because that's always been one of my favorite parts of Captain Cold.
Right. That's my favorite part of the Rogues, period. You know? Joker, you never know. With the Rogues, it's like, they're not going to kill anybody. They're just stealing money. I can fix this. I can solve this. It's easy enough to be done. You know, they're criminals, not monsters. So
they're just blue-collar guys doing a job.
Right. Next one.
Happens to be robbing banks.
Yeah. The next thing I would do, because he would get caught like not even halfway through the movie. He would break out, obviously, and then Captain Boomerang gets introduced, and they team up against him. Because I don't want to have Heat Wave and Captain Cold. That'd be too soon. I mean, good idea, just way too freaking soon. So, Captain Boomerang is still he's still got his thing. Are we keeping the same guy from Suicide Squad? Because I don't know who that was.
Jai Courtney?
Oh, that's who that was. Oh. Unless you got a better idea.
I think... no, actually, I don't like Jai Courtney, but him as Captain Boomerang, I did enjoy, and I enjoyed that take. I would ditch all the pink unicorn jokes, but other than that,
okay,
I think we can keep Jai Courtney. I don't have a Captain Cold idea, but
yeah, I'm trying to think who would be good for Captain Cold. We'll get back to that when we get to it, I guess. like you said, we're idea guys, not actual casting directors. So
exactly.
Question is, do we introduce Iris West or no?
I think there's no reason that you can't introduce Iris West, but if you want this to focus on him, I think maybe you introduce Iris in kind of a reverse order, where maybe Barry has a friend named Wally, and her cousin, we'll say in this case, and his cousin,
okay,
maybe in the third act comes to town.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
and it's Iris.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay, now I gotta ask this question, because there are two different Wally Wests. Are we talking New 52, or are we talking red hair?
Now, I prefer red hair Wally West, but I think for the purposes of this, and also because we're trying to pull in the same audience as the show, I think New 52 Wally West is probably a safer bet.
Okay. I also did like the Wally they had on the show, which is also good. So, yeah, New 52 then. Okay. So that wraps up the Flash.
Oh, also, that silver costume.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. That silver and red. Woo, that's good.
Yeah.
Now, we move on to Man of Steel 2. I could call this Man of Tomorrow, but I also preferred Superman Begins. Because I'm a freaking Nolan nerd. Don't judge me.
Oh, he's beginning to be Superman. In the last one, he just discovered Superman is.
Yeah, so it's like, hashtag don't judge me. Okay, so, the reason I'm going to go over this again, Ryan Gosling, for me, is, what's it called?
Joker, or sorry, Ryan Gosling is Aquaman.
Right.
He's your Aquaman.
It's because I have Momoa used elsewhere in a slightly better role as Lobo.
Oh, that's a choice.
Yeah. I don't know if you have any other ideas, because that was just kind of something I put out there. Because before I had Channing Tatum, to where we could have the pretty boy and still have Momoa as the badass Aquaman, which I would actually prefer. Because mine would be a mix of the New 52 looks wise, but the attitude, the bike, everything else would be, old school, 90s.
Yeah.
So.
I think
what are your thoughts?
I think it's a good choice putting Momoa in there, so I can get behind that. And
Okay.
Gosling, he's just so pretty. Put him in the water.
I mean, I'm not ashamed to say this, I'm one of the guys who actually liked The Notebook. And I saw how big he got for that, and I was like, he's Aquaman. Beard, muscles, blonde hair, he's Aquaman. Am I typecasting?
Yeah.
Am I typecasting? A little bit. But hey, it's fine. And I love this too. Mr. Mixis Spitlick is also in this movie. I originally had him as JGL, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, but I was quickly turned around to Wallace Shawn.
Oh boy.
Which do you prefer? Because I was thinking more of he's being just an overall dick / asshole. So I figured Premium Rush, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, would be good. But then I was told... Then I told about Wallace Shawn, and I was like, that fits so much better. Go ahead.
Originally, I was going to come down on you and say, you better be keeping Gilbert Godfrey as Mixie. But Wallace Shawn... oh, man, that's a casting I didn't know I wanted, and now I can't get it out of my head.
Hashtag you're welcome. Hey, but
inconceivable.
That word, I don't think it means what you think it means. But yeah, so instead of this another city leveling, battle, which will still kind of happen with Lobo, Mixie creates a new type of chaos for Superman, and this can go over time. Because he has, 3 months every time, before Superman can see him again after he makes him say his name backwards. Which I love that.
I think it's 3 months, yeah.
Yeah. Because I love that because it's friggin' it's I keep thinking of the Superman the Animated Series episode with him, and it's so funny. You think you're pretty smart, don't you? I was like, well, if it works. I was like, how am I supposed to say your name backwards? I can't even say it forwards. You're not supposed to say it. I am. It's like, say one. He says his name backwards. Oh, you suck. And the best part is, I could see him in, that orange and purple jumpsuit thing that he has, those elf shoes, that little hat, the hair going sideways. I could see this being almost comic accurate Mixie, which is perfect.
I think Wallace Shawn just has that in his closet, honestly.
I know. Well, I would say it's in his range of abilities. I'm not sure if it's in his closet, but I would not be surprised, but I would be so happy. So, about halfway through this, and this keeps going on and on. Again, this is more time loop than anything else. not time loop, time skipped. He's like, okay. Mixie just pops up. Okay. Before you say anything, shut up. Takes his mouth away. You're not saying anything. I'm done trying this. So I'm not going to fight you. Pops. And I love using that TFS pop, too. That. So he goes to the other side of the friggin' galaxy. It's like, no. He goes to, like, this bar. You know, this, like, I hate to say it this way, but space bar. He's like, no. Yes! You! You see long... You don't see anything, you just see, like, a silhouette, like, from... You just see, like, the back of the guy. They pop back. It's like... Superman's just all kinds of confused, like, what the hell? And they start going back... And Mixie start going back and forth, and all he does... It's like, once they get the translator going, because Mixie can understand every language, because he's from the 5th dimension, so language isn't that much of an issue to him. You know... Superman's like, hang on. What are you saying? He goes... He looks at him. He looks Superman up and down. And, by the way, Superman is still in civilian clothes. So he's still Clark Kent at this point. So, and this is... I think I got this from Young Justice. Lobo taps the skull on his belt buckle. And it's like, better? Yes! Now, what is going on? Mason just looks at Superman. He, pointing at Lobo, is going to fight you. For me. Lobo looks at Mixie. Why? He goes, snaps his fingers. Bags of money. He goes, alright, sure. That's about as simple a thing as he needs. He's like, alright, sure. Now, I would love for this to take place in the sky, which makes it even funnier. He's like, alright, sure. Boom! They start fighting, going back and forth. Now, it has been, I would say, a year since Zod, because they're still rebuilding, but they haven't rebuilt completely. But one thing that's still standing, of course, is LexCorp Tower, or Luthor Core Tower. And you just see Bryan Cranston with his hands behind his back. Much like James Marsters in Superman Doomsday. He's just looking, watching this. He goes, He's trying to reduce collateral damage this time. He's learning. Good. You know, it's like a quick scene, but he's still there. He gets a paycheck. Let's see. Where else was I in my notes here? Oh, wow. I have a whole back page I forgot about. But it's like, before all this, though, like, in that interim time, we see a scene between Luthor Sr. and Luthor... I just call him Luthor Sr. and Jr. for simplicity's sake. There is a respect that that Junior has for his father, of course, and Luthor Senior is trying to teach him how to be ruthless and strategic. So it's like there's that very harsh, like, in the middle of war, I will teach you these things, and we will be going to war against each other, because my enemies won't be as kind to you as I will. Very much Smallville-esque.
I like that.
Yeah, like I said, very much Smallville-esque. So, Lobo's done because he got, like, halfway through the fight. Here's the funny part. Halfway through the fight, back to Superman and Lobo. Lobo's about to go for one more punch on Superman. His watch starts beeping. And he's like, hang on. Presses the watch. He sees he sees what's essentially a wanted poster. He goes, oh, okay, accepted. He goes, you're in luck, Soupy. You're in luck, Blue. The main man's got another contract on the other edge of the galaxy. I'll be back for you later. He takes off. Mixie's like, where are you going? I got a better job. He just takes off on his rocket bike. Like, that jerk! Why? You see Superman just kind of float up behind Mixie. So, what are we gonna do? He goes, what now? What do I have to do to make you leave? He goes, okay, fine. If you can make me see or read my name backwards twice, I'll leave you alone. I won't cause any more trouble. He goes, fine, one more thing. He goes, what? You're putting this back the way you found it beforehand. Because, like, a couple of buildings still have holes in them and such. He's like, fine, superhero types. Are we good? We're good. Okay, so then the thing ensues. And much like Superman the Animated Series, he turns into a kryptonite-laced warhead. Ballistic missile. Or the kryptonite warhead, I should say. They're flying around, all this other stuff. He goes, "That's it. Admit I've won." It's like, okay, before I do, can I get one last request? He goes, "What?" Turn around. Skywritten, twice, his name backwards. He goes, "Oh, that's not fair." It's like, you want to know what He goes, "Oh." It's like, before he can cuss, he goes, "Oh." It just pops away for you. Either says shit or you.
Yeah.
Even better to be like, "Oh, shit." Perfect. And that would be my Superman movie. And then he just, before he leaves, the last thing, before he goes, Superman grabs onto his arm and goes, hold it, end of the deal. He goes, "Fine." Snaps his fingers. Everything's back to the way it should be. Everything's good. No one's dead. No destruction. Everything's fine. What did you think?
I really like it. I think it's a really out there concept.
Of course.
Keep picturing Lil Wallace Shawn in an elf costume running around. I like the idea of Lex Luthor and Senior and Junior kind of observing the situation, waiting for their knowing, you know what, this fifth dimensional being, we're not fucking with that.
Yeah. So actually, but here's the
This
thing on
is not
right. But here's the thing on that though. I would have the scene where it's like they're talking about all this other stuff. I would have that scene to where it starts out like a meanwhile panel. You see Luthor Senior, like I said, just like he's learning, like talking to himself. He's just like he's learning, reducing collateral damage. Very smart. He's learning. You know, he's taking mental notes, but out loud, because he's making his own plans to take down Superman, turn him into an ally. Either way. But what else? Other than that, and then
also
Junior comes in, and they have that scene.
Yeah. If you really want, also Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Mixie, a nice little addition could be Wallace Shawn Mixie. Right as he pops back, you see where he popped back to. It's Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Batmite, and be like, yeah.
And they're roommates. Oh, that's even better.
Yeah.
Fifth dimensional roommates. He goes, and every time we just follow Wallace Shawn and pop back. He goes, "Lost again, huh?" He goes, "Shut up." No, that's how it ends. That's
You're
the
late
last. No, not even late on rent. They're just like in the same room, like in the same like apartment thing.
Yeah.
You see Wallace Shawn pop back in. He goes, "Got beaten again, huh?" He goes, "Shut up." Movie just goes to credits. No, yeah. That's a post-credit scene. That is perfect.
Yeah.
It's like, got beat again? I really don't like you. You just see, it was Batmite. No, but here's the thing though. It's not like the, Batmite from the comics. It's more of just, he's a hipster Batman fan, so he's got like the flannel, like, button-up shirt, the Batman shirt, Batman kind of like hat, Batman sneaks, but he's wearing like blue jeans. That's the kind of thing it is. That would be funny. Granted, that would never happen in in the more serious air quotes Batman movie, but it'd still be a fun thing to have.
Yeah.
Better yet, he's sitting there watching Batman the Animated Series. Batman the Animated Series. Show is great.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'd be cool. So yeah. So we're good on that, right?
I think we're good on that.
Cool. All right, next one is The Batman 2, or again, that's the other thing, and it's just Batman Prey. And I loved this title because I was looking for Batman stories that haven't been done yet. There's a lot of them, but it's like, I like this, and I liked how it had Hugo Strange on the cover, and I was like, I'll use Hugo Strange because no one else really has yet, I think. So that's nice. Then there's a lot of, and I'm kind of mad
Not
at
enough
this too.
people.
Yeah, and there's not enough of Batman's Rogues Gallery either. It's like we've seen Poison Ivy, we've seen Bane twice, we've seen Joker. Let's see, about 4 times if you count animated, I think. Ones we haven't seen
And then
really.
5 with Joaquin.
Yeah, but I mean, this is more tied to Batman. You know, not exactly
That's
in
right.
its own thing. So, but we don't know if that's tied in. Damn! What am I thinking? Joaquin Phoenix could have been Joker. Or is that still too much?
Oh my god, that was right in front of our face.
Or is that too much of a creepy age separation? Hold on, let me check how old he is and how old they are. Otherwise, because otherwise it could be fun.
He's got to be pretty old.
I mean, I'll check. That's what I'm doing now. I keep wanting to say Joaquin with a W. That's not how that works. Oh, forget
He
it.
was born in 1974, so that makes him 55 years old.
And Margot was in what, her 30s, give or take.
Probably. I don't know.
I'm not looking that up. Okay, so maybe not, but you know, maybe we just got rid of. No, we get rid of Harley and just have Joker. That's how we can do that. That's how that can work.
Yeah.
Okay, much better. Okay, good. I'm so happy we figured that out after we got done with Batman, like 2 movies down. Around his sequels, like,
Well, you know.
It's a thing that happened. It's fine. But yeah.
You know, he grew into being Joaquin Phoenix in between movies.
No. No. Sorry, I hate to say that, but no. So,
Batman Prey.
Batman Prey, yes. This has 2 villains this time. Killer Croc, Killer Croc, and Clayface. But this is Clayface's origin story, which is cool. And you'll probably get the Feet of Clay references in here because it's not all that, subtle. So, Killer Croc breaks out of Arkham. Batman goes to investigate, meets new warden, Hugo Strange. When the former warden was killed by his ass. I wanted the former warden to be Quincy Sharp, but I'm like, no, he needs to be mayor eventually, because that's still, I mean, that could be the mayor that got taken hostage in the first movie, Quincy Sharp. So he's still fine. This is the only thing I hate about recording with my microphone. I love it, but it picks up everything. But yeah. So he's investigating all
You
this.
could have that. Okay.
Go ahead.
You could have that Quincy Sharp was the Warden of Arkham, and used the getting kidnapped by the Joker to run a sympathy campaign, and now he's mayor. That's
a good way to look at it too. Cool. So there was an interim Joe Schmo that got off by Zaz. Got it. I'm sorry, but I like the name dropping of Zaz because that's a very important, but he's still a very good character to have because he has no powers. He's just psychotic. So.
Yeah.
So while looking for Croc, Batman runs into Bruce Wayne. Dun dun dun. Not Hush.
Cool.
No, I put in parentheses. Not Hush. Not yet. It's Basil Yeah, I had to put that for my own self. It's Basil Carlo with a special, air quotes, face cream from Stag Industries. After getting caught, Carlo gets punished by Carmine Falcone and gets turned into Clayface. Because he got caught trying to steal some more, and then just going to like, this is going down your gullet, and we're just going to dump you in a gutter. Sound familiar?
Okay. That sounds very familiar.
Like I said, Feet of Clay. Subtle homage.
Yeah.
Or should I say, not so subtle ripoff.
Well,
After putting Clayface and Croc in Arkham, again, this is the B plot, or C plot rather. Batman get attacked. Yeah, Black Spider attacks Batman after attacking Batman with a failed attempt. After his failed attempt to assassinate Batman, he lets it slip that someone put a hit out on him. You know, that's why all these assassins are going after him. Any notes so far? Because I think
is this the same contract that Deathstroke had?
Yes, it's an open contract, so it's like, and it doesn't really have an expiration date. He just wants him gone. You know, but he doesn't say. But Black Spider doesn't say who. But because I wanted it to be like, we have 8 mercenaries, but I'm like, that's Origins. 10 mercenaries is too many. 4 is too few. 6 is not enough. So I'll just, until I run out of ideas, and I'll just put, Black. And this would actually culminate at Batman Hush, where it's like he puts Black Mask like, stop the contract, you're not gonna beat me, kind of thing. It's like, but I didn't put the hit out on you. It's like, then who did? And then Hush just kind of appears out of nowhere. There you go. I did. It's like, oh joy. So there you go. That's how I would do that. I should write that down, but I got it in audio so I can re-listen to it later. But any notes, any ideas for Batman Parade? Because that's all I had.
Now, with this, it's the second Batman movie.
Uh-huh.
Is there any indication or temptation to bring in a Dick Grayson type character? Because I think Batman, he's dealing with, throughout these 2 movies, he's dealing with a lot. He's going to need some backup. And I'm not talking about a 10-year-old.
Oh, no, I know. I mean, if anything, I would love to have that more in Hush, because that's when he's really going to be overwhelmed. And that's when you can have Dick Grayson come in and be like, okay, you need my help, Bruce. He goes, no, I don't. Yes, you do. Don't lie. Stop it. It's not good for you. It's like, go back to Bloodhaven, Dick.
I think then maybe in this movie you could have a kind of similar to what they do in Dark Knight Rises. You have a cop on the force who doesn't know who Batman is per se, but is an ally, and you could take from the Bloodhaven storyline where Nightwing becomes a cop. It's like, oh, that's Dick Grayson. He's our new rookie and stuff. He's like 22.
But my thing is, Batman already had him for like a few years as Robin, and he's already Nightwing, which is cool. So it's like, if anything, yeah, he would be a rookie cop, but Batman's like, good to meet you, Dick. Good to meet you, Officer Grayson. He goes, likewise, Batman. Giving a knowing, like,
Mr. Batman, sir.
Giving a knowing glance, like, yeah, I know.
yeah, that's better.
Yeah, because then because the one thing that fell apart for me with Dark Knight Rises, it was more of a, you should stick to your legal name. I like it, Robin. It's like, oh, he's Robin. No, he's not. Shut up. It's not Robin.
I do it every time. I pretend that she had said Dick.
Yeah, it's like, or Richard at least.
Yeah.
It's like, I like it, Richard. I'm like, which is what I was hoping they would have said, but no, Robin. Like, yeah, it's a knowing glance, but you got a lot of fanboys pissed, like, mad, because there's like, oh, he's gonna be Robin, he should have been that. I'm like, no. The point is, anyone could have been Batman. That was the whole point of the Dark Knight Rises. Yeah. Anyone can put on the mask. Although not everyone should, because I'm pretty sure on his first night out, he dies. Because he has no formal training at all. So, sure, he's a good detective, but he's not that good of a fighter. And you kind of need both.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are we doing on time here? Let's see. I hope this thing is still recording. If not, I'm going to hate OBS and my computer forever. Oh, no, we're still ticking. We are at 1 hour and 9 minutes already. Sweet. We are still ticking.
Awesome.
Nice. Okay, good.
Let's I'm really excited about this next movie, so.
Green Lantern Corps.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now my whole thing was, when I was writing this, I wanted to lay the groundwork for a few things. Sinestro Corps War, number 1. Blackest Night, way down the line, number 2. But first, I wanted to set some groundwork for Hal Jordan becoming Parallax. So I didn't really know how to do this. I know I wasn't going to use Kyle Rayner because I want to have him just after the Sinestro Corps War thing. Actually, no, just after Jordan becomes Parallax, because that would make so much more sense.
That's how they did comics, though.
Yeah. So I was like, I'll not say thoughts on that, but I'm like, we all know it works. You know, so yeah. So, again, so it's going to be Jon Stewart and Guy Gardner. Jon Stewart, I was thinking Idris Elba for Jon Stewart.
He's our, I guess in this hypothetical world, he's not in the Suicide Squad.
Oh, that's true, too. I thought those talks dropped, though, but whatever. Then who would you have? But then who would you have?
I think Idris Elba.
I know I definitely wouldn't have Will Smith. I can tell you that right now. That would just be too weird. No offense, but Tyrese Gibson, you are not going to be my Jon Stewart. I'm sorry. It's not happening. I know you were pushing for it, but no.
10 years ago, I think I said Denzel.
Oh yeah.
But he's getting a little long in the tooth.
Yeah.
I think you want. You know what? Idris Elba. He's cast.
Yeah. I mean, we're making the casting choices here. There is no Suicide Squad movie. There's no point for one. Not yet.
Yeah.
As far as Guy Gardner, one name just popped in my head, and you're probably gonna laugh at this because it's probably a bad choice, but I like it anyway. Chris Pratt.
All right. So, something you need to know about me. Guy Gardner is my favorite Green Lantern.
Okay, this is gonna be fun.
And that is an unpopular opinion, but I think it's because I love the Red Lanterns so much, and he is my he is the gateway into that.
Oh no!
There's no.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm letting Chris Pratt anywhere near Guy Gardner.
Now I understand where you're coming from, but the only thing is, he's one of my favorite. He is. I'm not sure if I have a top favorite right now, but he's definitely within the top 2. I'm not saying he's my number 2, but depending on what day it is, or how I'm feeling a certain day, he will be my number 1 Green Lantern. Because my first introduction to him was in Batman the Brave and the Bold. Do you remember this?
Is that he's locked up with Chip and Sinestro, and they have to give Batman a Green Lantern power suit?
Yes.
Yes.
He goes,
yes.
You're in charge? That I'd like to... Deep punch. That's the plan. Like... Perfect. Because I love that. That's canonic. That's comic... I'll not say comically, but canonically in the comics, that has happened, which I love, which is fun. But I also love to see his growth from the first episode, from the beginning of that episode to this one, you know? And I love how they introduced him, and I love his variation on the Green Lantern suit, especially. That leather-esque... What the heck was it? Oh, that, you know, jacket thing he has, which is cool. Okay, so who would you have for Gardner? Anyone pop out immediately? Okay, guys, if this sounds a little jump cutty, we had to make a couple of quick cuts. Last thing I remember us talking about was Chris Pratt being Guy Gardner, if I'm not mistaken, right? That's what we were talking about?
No, we were. You were talking about that. I was not talking about that. He can't get anywhere near Guy Gardner. Do I have a better casting choice? No, but I know it's not Chris Pratt.
Okay, well that's fair. And no, I did say before we got cut off, just to reiterate for you, I did say that he is I think I told you he was my second favorite Lantern because of the whole what happened in the comics and happened in Batman the Brave and the Bold.
Yeah.
So Guy Gardner will be cast later, for whatever. So the villain for this movie would have been Atrocitus, or essentially the Red Lantern Corps, or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's because I want to have it established that Sinestro Corps is already here. We know Sinestro Corps. We know he was a Lantern that went bad. Used the element of fear in the emotional spectrum, stuff like that. So we know his story already. There's no need to rehash it. But so
You cut out, buddy.
huh?
You cut out. I was hearing you couldn't. I've been every third word.
Great. You can hear me clearly now, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So my whole thing was, we know he, Sinestro and the Sinestro Corps' backstory, so we know how that's a problem. We know how that's a thing. Wait, what was the movie before this? Batman Prey. One thing that we could have had in Batman Prey leading up to Green Lantern Corps was that one scene from, I forget which one it was, from what book exactly, but it was lead up to Sinestro Corps War, to where Batman had a yellow lantern ring. Appeared to him like Batman. It was either Batman or Bruce Wayne of Earth. You have the ability to instill great fear. Welcome to the Sinestro Corps. It says, oh wait, nope, you are contaminated with the ring of Hal Jordan. Goodbye. He just kind of leaves. He's just like, what the hell? It's like, Hal, you better fix this. And then just kind of goes off.
What would you have Hal even know? Hal and Bruce, they wouldn't even know each other yet in this new continuity.
Oh, fair enough. So then be like, what the hell?
More alien shit.
Yeah. But again, it's more like what the hell was that? He kind of shrugs. I was like, I'll make a note for that later. I'll follow that up later. And then we get the Green Lantern Corps movie. So, nice little lead in. But, yeah, so as far as this goes, it's a basic story. They're investigating the Red Lantern Corps people. This is the first appearance of the Red Lantern Corps. Then they get attacked by, what's it called? The Yellow Lanterns.
Atrocitus.
Oh,
sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. But Atrocitus is the one we see making all the carnage, but while the Green Lanterns are investigating, the Sinestro Corps is like, what are you doing in our sector? What do you mean your sector? And then they have a clash. It's, the whole thing happens. It's not a very good story. I don't, I haven't thought about this one yet. Like I said, it's basic story. It's more of a concept than anything else. So I'm like, any input would be greatly appreciated.
This is the one I was, we were talking a little bit before this. This is the one that I was most excited about.
Really?
Because
Okay.
Red Lanterns are, and just the entire color spectrum is honestly one of my favorite concepts. So for this, I really like the idea of introducing Red Lanterns and Atrocitus specifically as the first big bad for Hal Jordan. I think.
Okay, so you're saying instead of Guy Gardner, have it be Hal Jordan and John Stewart then?
Right. I meant more just for the Green Lantern.
Right.
I think having John and Guy, that's actually what I've been pitching for years because I want the Red Lanterns, and I think Guy Gardner is best when he's wearing a red ring.
Yeah.
Okay. I would put into in that little group of Green Lanterns there. I would put Sinestro himself actually in there, and then the Red Lanterns is what drives him into creating the Sinestro Corps.
Okay.
Instead of them already existing, because Green Lantern, most people just think of Ryan Reynolds in the movie that shall not to be spoken of.
Yeah.
But
please don't make the super suit green or animated. Sorry.
And I think having a lot of these space is a very big concept.
Yeah.
But introducing one Lantern Corps at a time, well, two, because you'd be doing green and red, just the Christmas colors first, and then yellow can come after that. I think it's probably going to be more digestible and a little bit less overwhelming.
I just had an idea. Did you watch the Green Lantern, the animated series show that was on Cartoon Network for like a season?
I watched, I think the first half of it.
Okay.
I didn't finish it.
Because what I would like to do is kind of modify that just a smidge, because that's a good way to introduce new concepts, the full spectrum. Because what we could do is this could be the Kickstarter to them looking for other parts of the emotional spectrum, or the other lantern, the other cores. Mm-hmm. And the next one they'd come across would be the Orange Lantern Core with Lar friggin' fleas.
Do you have him kill Santa?
No.
That's a great story, Eric. Well, one off.
Yeah. And I didn't think it was a he killed Santa. He just wanted to capture him and make him, grant all of his wishes like a genie. I think that's what he wanted.
Well, it's been a while.
That's fair. But yeah. I was thinking that, and then, because again, if we had, instead of Jon Stewart and Guy Gardner, not Hal, it's Sinestro and a rookie Hal Jordan, that could be a good way to start. We don't have to see him getting the ring and him being a pilot. We kind of know that by osmosis from Justice League and all these other things. At least people in our circles do. But it's like, just have some stuff thrown in the background. Like, when I first got this thing, I was pretty sure, because I got this thing while I was testing something, and I'm not sure if they know I'm gone yet, or they know where I'm at. That could be a thing, or it's just I went back and sorted the whole thing out. We're good. Just as long as it's in passing, not the plot of the movie, because I'm getting tired of origin stories, to be honest with you. And I know it's ironic saying. Oh, great. And I know it's ironic saying, because we did start with Man of Steel. So, yeah. I'd like to live in a lived-in DC universe. The only thing that would be different would be, what's it called? Oh, for crying out loud. The only thing different that changes this would be friggin' Superman. That'd be about it. But again, very basic.
Superman's the new addition to this.
Yeah, right. Kind of like how Luke was in A New Hope. He's what we're focusing on, but this universe is lived in. It is not new. It is, it feels, normal. Everyone knows what's going on already, mostly.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to shoot for here, because a lived-in universe feels a lot easier to just kind of slip into than, this is all this lore we're going to throw at you. That's not how that works. So yeah, any ideas for the basic story, or are we kind of good with the Green Lantern Corps concept as of now? Because we can always come back to this later.
I really, again, I think the idea of whether it's 2 or 3 Green Lanterns trying to track down the mystery of what are these red lanterns, what's going on. Maybe they used to think that they were the only lanterns,
right?
And something like that. As much as my heart belongs to Guy Gardner, I understand why a Sinestro Hal team up makes a lot more sense. But yeah, that's pretty much where I am. Atrocitus. I would like to say that maybe at the end of the movie is when Sinestro realizes the power
of fear
of the other spectrums, and is like, or maybe now I'm lifting from the Green Lantern movie. The one good part of it where Sinestro's like, we have to fight fear with fear, but in this case he's like, will isn't enough to defeat
rage,
the anger of Atrocitus.
Right.
We need something else.
Now, one thing I forgot that is so crucial to this. We have to introduce the Manhunters. We have to.
Yes.
I almost forgot about that whole thing. Because it's like, there was something before the Green Lanterns. So this is more of a introduction to the new Hal Jordan, as well as a brief history lesson of the Green Lantern Corps. And that is beautiful.
Perfect.
Okay.
If you need the Manhunters,
Right.
rotate the back to London? Sorry.
Okay, so we're just gonna keep on going here. So,
Next is Legion of Superheroes.
that is correct. I didn't know what was going on with you or what you were doing, so I just kind of let that play out.
No, just one.
So yeah, it's gonna be the Legion of Superheroes, one of my favorite Saturday morning cartoons growing up. So the villains of this movie are the Fatal Five, of course, because why wouldn't they be? We can do the Legion of Supervillains later. So, Legion of Superheroes. We are both big fans of this.
Yes.
And we both just got done seeing Justice League versus the Fatal Five. Holy crap.
I did it specifically
For
for
this.
podcast.
Nice. So, obviously, the villains are going to be the Fatal Five. We can do the Legion of Supervillains later. You know. But that's the first thing. That's just the first 10, 20 minutes of the thing. Like, they're preparing for this battle, whatever. And the 5 that I have, it may be 5, maybe 6. I might expand this. I might let this breathe a little bit as far as it is. But the 5 I have, it was gonna be 6 because it was going to be Saturn Girl, Lightning Lad, Cosmic Boy, Bouncing Boy, Colossal Boy, and Brainiac 5.
Okay, thank God you put him in there.
Yeah, of course I'm gonna have Brainiac 5. He's like the anchor of this team, which is great. But the team I have here is of 5, and it's gonna be minus Colossal Boy. But you know what? Screw it. We'll throw him in there because someone needs to fight Validus, so he's gonna be in there.
Yeah.
And it'll be kind of fun because one thing. Here's the funny thing. I tried pitching this idea of starting here as the reboot point for a brighter universe for DC. No one got the idea because I couldn't explain it. I was so hype because I did this on Collider Live, and I was just so nervous because I had all this panicked energy because I'm like, I'm talking to these people, I see them all the time. I lost my ever loving mind. Okay. And the sad part is, I think you can look it up because I think it's like episode 54, which is the worst. And I'm like towards the end, it's like, okay, guys, bye. I was like, okay.
I'll be giving that a listen.
Yeah, but nice plug for Collider Live though, which is good. They have their own YouTube channel. Anyway, getting back to this. So, the point is the 6 of them just barely beat the Fatal 5. Just barely. And they just kind of like, okay, we're losing this battle, we're gonna leave. And they just kind of like teleport with the Emerald Eye or whatever. While they're kind of like taking assessments, whatever's going on, they get a distress signal, which makes no sense. Or a incoming call from like a, what is his name? I'm trying to think of the professor on Rimbor.
Oh, damn, it's...
Yeah. Do I have it written down? No, I don't have it written down. Son of a gun. Anyway, Timberwolf's dead. I'll look that up later.
Mr. Timberwolf.
No. But anyway, so they go over there to try and stop this monster, air quotes, from wrecking this, like, planet or whatever. And turns out Timberwolf is out of this, and his... I like the look he had in the cartoon in this. So it was one of those things where I'm like, this is great. This is perfectly wonderful. Now, if we did a Legion of Superheroes 2, I would have a majority of the same team with Timberwolf, but the only point is the Fatal 5 come back, and they get overwhelmed this time, so where they have to retreat, and this is not like at the Legion headquarters, they have to retreat, and then they go back in time and get Superboy. And I'm not talking Clark Kent, I'm talking Connor Kent Superboy. But that's for way down the line, though.
Yeah.
Because the reason I did this movie is because it will have an automatic opening box. Big box office opening weekend. Because here's my thing for this. It's PG. It's live action. It's a superhero movie. It's going to cater to kids. It'll be good.
Take the whole family.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Batman v Superman. Not going to take your family to go see Superman bleed out his mouth. You know, getting punched in the face repeatedly. You know, you're not going to do that. This one, take the kids. It's perfect for them, you know? That would make sense to me anyway. So it just...
Now,
huh?
If you're trying to aim for a younger audience, do you go? I know you said Jonathan, but you said Connor Kent. Do you get Jonathan Kent instead?
Oh, I didn't think of that. I did not think of that. But here's the thing, though. This is the whole thing. Depending on where it takes place in the universe, maybe, because if this takes place after my third Superman movie, no. If it takes place after, like, something else down the line, maybe. Because there has to be that... We can't just throw in, oh, this is Superman's son. Everyone's like, where the hell did he come from? You know? That's what I'm saying.
They did in Superman Returns.
Oh, no, we don't do that. But that was funny, though. But I like that, though. It's like, who is this? This is whatever the guy's name is. Son. It's like, are you sure? I'm like, oh, shoot. Oh, man, that was fun, though. Anyway, getting back to this, though. But after this, I don't know where I don't know if I'd put them on another mission. If so, I would definitely think about the... I call it the Halloween episode, air quotes, of the cartoon, where they're, like, facing their fears. Which is also good, because you can overcome those fears and be better. But that's its own thing, you know?
Yeah.
I would say that would start off another movie, because that would be kind of dark for kids, but parents would be like, oh, this is cool. But not too dark, more like Shazam horror moment, you know? But it's not the whole movie. But yeah, I think that would be the two missions they would go on. And then it's like, as it ends, it would end on as anything else. Timberwolf getting sworn in, and then the Fatal Five come right back, and they start getting their butts kicked with the new guy, you know, and everything else just kind of turns their way. And again, they run off. And then they're like, you know, whatever else. I don't know how that would really end, but that's just kind of the overall idea. Again, we can always come back to any one of these if we want, you know, if need be. So that's... Any thoughts or stuff on this so far?
I think this one's really interesting, because the Legion of Superheroes is just right for a big screen adaptation.
Mm-hmm.
And especially with the current DC animated Justice League versus the Fatal Five,
Yeah.
Which, you know, go watch it. It's real good.
It is.
It's real good.
Yeah.
I think this is a really good movie to be thrown in there. I think the addition of a mystery as to what kind of monster this is, and then it's like, oh, and then there's Timberwolf is a really good way of introducing his character, and you could play with some ideas of, especially if you're going for his look.
Yeah.
On the cartoon, where he's like kind of Teen Wolf-esque.
Yeah.
You could really grapple with some of those. It's okay to be different looking ideas and stuff, especially
Right.
if you're trying to appeal to younger kids here.
Right. And there's a little message for the teenagers in there. It's like, you don't have to let your past and your mistakes and what people have done to you define you. You don't let that beast so much control your life. They may have shaped you, but it's up to you to make your life what it is. Make sense?
Yeah, that's a message. That's a great message, and it's a message that the youth of today need.
Yeah.
Not to get too political.
No. It's fine. Again, it's not like we're Frank Miller or anything. We're just lightly touching on this. We're not overtly like, the media's done this and that. I'm like, no. I've watched, by the way, one small side tangent here. I watch a lot of Linkara now. I love his ramblings. I love his dissertations or such on all the Frank Miller stuff. It is hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so, next movie. So we're good, but just to recap, we're good though on Legion, right? We're good? You can put
I think we're good on Legion.
Okay, cool. Next movie. I wanted this to be a New Gods movie, but I was like, too soon. So I crossed out and put Aquaman. This one, again, Ryan Gosling. We got that situated already. The villains in the beginning is Black Manta. But I liked what they did with the family dynamic of this, which is cool. So I will have Ocean Master and still have that thing in there. Now, one thing. I just thought about this like just now. I want to have Ocean Master be almost the Atlantean Bruno Mannheim, if that makes any sense. You know what I'm talking about? It's because one of the things I have in here are the Deep Six, which are apocalyptic fish warriors. So you can have them be in this and be like, and just kind of like in a passive thing, it's like, where'd you get these six? It's like, oh, we have a strong ally out on the outside. Bring us.
Oh, I like.
You know, not really saying anything, but this is because the Deep Six is well, no pun intended, a deep cut for those who know. And that's just pops, you know?
Yeah.
Now, the only thing is, though, the only thing we would have to tweak is that this happens before Justice League, not after. Because there was a line in Aquaman where Mira was like, you fought for Atlantis, but you fought Steppenwolf on behalf of Atlantis. Like, no, I fought that because the world needed saving, not because of Atlantis. I owe Atlantis nothing. You know, they killed my, they killed my mom. I don't give a rip about you people. I don't care. That is still his arc, because he turns from this whole, you took my mom from me? I don't want to be near you people. To, these are my people. These are the people that need to be protected. And it wasn't the people, it was the rules of that kingdom. And I love that. But the one thing, though, I think we could do without, in this instance, is that Ring of Fire scene. And I'm like, that is stupid.
Okay, but can we work the octopus drummer into this story somehow? Because we can't lose him.
Fair enough.
We're gonna cut the octopus drummer.
I'll tell you what can we do? Okay, well, how about this? When Aquaman comes back into Atlantis and they're celebrating his coronation, he can set the beat to the dance party afterwards. How's that?
That's perfect.
Okay, cool.
Little side note. I hope in the real Aquaman sequels and stuff that every movie just add another band member, and then next we get an octopus playing the guitar and stuff. Until Aquaman 3, it's like a whole orchestra.
I don't think that a guitar would work underwater, because a guitar is made out of wood. And it wouldn't sound very good.
It's a choral guitar.
Fair enough. With jellyfish strings, that'll work.
Oh. See? We're solving all our own problems.
Cool. Okay, so that's the Aquaman movie. I love that. Now we're on to my first 3-pager. This is my, first and probably only 3-pager. My Batman v Superman idea.
Oh.
Oof.
This is a good idea. I like this one.
You've read through this and you're like, oh, hell yeah. So basically,
I've read through it, yeah.
Okay, so if this was a graphic novel, you'd buy a copy.
I would buy one. And
nice.
then I would buy one to give to someone and say, read it. We got it.
Nice. Cool. All right, so I have a little note here. It's about the same as before, only the difference is it's more the ultimate cut rather than the theatrical cut, because I loved how much the ultimate cut flows a lot better than the theatrical cut. It's like...
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Because it's like reading a full... I don't know whether you'd call it a trade or a graphic novel, but it's like reading a good double-sized issue, giant-sized issue of a comic.
Yeah.
And it's like every other page is a meanwhile. I'm like, I want to keep tabs on one person. What the hell? You know?
Yeah.
It's not so much Batman and Flash, the button. It's more of a every other page is another character you're following in another story string. And like, I shouldn't have a cork board to follow your story. Or have...
And
you know.
I could not agree more.
Okay, good. So, let's get into the meat of this. So, basically, neither Batman nor Superman like how the other is doing things, or does things, much like the first thing. Batman has the same reason as before. Now, this time he has a lot more. He has more legs to stand on because Superman had 2 fights in Metropolis. One leveled the city, and one was destroying what they had already started rebuilding. So it's like, we can't trust this guy to protect our world. He'll destroy half of it and keep us, safe. That's not protection. That's stupidity. So, as before, the different destruction of Metropolis. Doomsday does not make an appearance in this. I need to make that perfectly clear. He does not make an appearance.
Thank God.
Yeah, I thought you'd say that. Now, this is my favorite part, because this is my spin on what would be done in Smallville. Oh, I forgot to mention, who are we casting as Luthor Jr.? Are we keeping Jesse Eisenberg?
Oh man, yeah, that's kind of a glaring.
Really?
I keep him.
Yeah, because here's the thing, because the one thing I liked was the tics, the antisocial tics he has. My thing is, let's give it a story. Let's see the story behind that. Because if there's a reason behind it, we can Huh?
Let's just cut the Jolly Rancher scene.
Yeah, we can
That's
just
really
leave.
the only thing we need to do to his character.
But it's like, I like what he said about his dad. It's like, because I love how, and here's the thing, if you have that scene where he's talking about, talking to the senator in his dad's library or whatever, and drinking Kentucky Mash or whatever, and they're just talking, and it goes into do you think Dad would mind if I changed one thing in this room? I would turn that painting upside down. Because we all know devils don't come from the sky, come from below us. They come from above. I was like, oh, that is such a good scene.
Yeah.
Now, so I would like to say we're keeping, if not changing that just a twist, just a bit. Because how he would play this off is that his dad just kind of left. Although the way his dad goes out, it's kind of hard to cover that up. So, I'll get to this and we can talk about this scene in a minute. So it's this first scene we see. This first scene we see. Hate that sentence. With Luthor Jr. and Sr., they argue about how to kill or how to deal with Superman. Until Lex, I'm just gonna call him Lex from here on out, snaps, and while Lex's dad has his back turned, Lex runs a sword straight through his dad's back and just goes,
Oh, jeez.
yeah. Very like, because when you hear him's like, no, here's what we're going to do. We are going to, you can just see kind of, you can see, because he doesn't want to do this. So he just, when it's like in that pullback shot, you can see Lex's hand shaking because he's both filled with rage and he's like, what did I just do? So his mind is already split in two, hence the social tick.
Oh.
Because once someone breaks like that, it's very hard to either cover it up or get over that relatively quickly.
I don't know how you... Yeah, I don't know how you feel about, or if you watch much of Gotham, but this is very similar to how they treated the Riddler character.
Yeah.
Where he was a weird guy to begin with, but then his first kill, he gets gets the shakes, and you really start seeing that progression.
Right,
More
yeah,
of
yeah.
a condensed version of that, but
Right.
it's something I really do like.
Right, because this was because you saw this before. You saw how his father was. You saw how he treated him in Superman 2, and in Batman v Superman, he's had enough. He snaps, and he's just, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not listening to your crap anymore. You're done. You know. So I have through his chest / heart. I'm not sure which one would be a better scene. And then he dumps him out a window.
Oh,
Like I said, very small at last, where Lex just pushes Lionel out a window and you see Lionel fall.
yeah.
But it's more of, he kind of kicks him off his blade. He just kind of walks back a bit, grabs a sword, and just kind of shoves him off. Like, it watches him fall, and he's just done. Senior is done. Not long after, and not long after this, Junior gets access to the Kryptonian ship and Zod's body. Just like before, but only difference, page turn, is Zod's body is put in a chamber for use later. And this pod has the Brainiac symbol over it, or on it rather. So we could use, because if you don't like the Eradicator thing I got going on for later, spoilers, we could always turn him into the body, I guess, of Brainiac, if you want to use it that way, and have him give him a physical form, because we've never seen Brainiac in a movie either. So,
I like that.
But again,
I like that a lot.
okay, so we might do that then, okay, instead of that, which is fine. So that's my photo in chamber. What we do see is Lex get in contact with not Steppenwolf, but Darkseid.
The way it should have been.
Yes! And a portal, not in the air, but in front of Lex, it's a boom tube, opens. And it's just like in Superman the Animated Series, where you can walk down that boom tube, and it's perfect. It's just, it looks like stairs, but it's a circle, but it also looks like it's stairs as well, if that makes any sense. Like, you could step onto it and just start walking. It's not just like in the New 52, it's just a portal. So as he's about to enter it, again, and by the way, Batman and Superman have their fight. I just kind of wrote that as in, well, it's assumed. It's Batman v Superman. But after their fight, this is the condensed version of this entire thing. We can kind of expand on this later. After their fight, Superman flies in, tells Lex, he just yells at Lex to stop, and then two beams shoot out from from the
Boom tube.
Thank you. I forgot. I have it written down to it. I wasn't looking down. From the boom tube. They look like they're going towards Lex, and then they just zip right around him, and they go right to Superman.
Whoa.
And Superman looks like he's disintegrated, but I don't know if I should spoil this now, but it's actually Darkseid has him. So, than the original. Superman disappears not long after. Superman disappears just as Batman arrives, and he asks Lex, "Where's Superman?" He could just say he's gone, but I have him as Lex. He has Lex in his hands, and all Lex can say is, "He has him now." Oh. And Lex, by the way, is shaking. He just he has him now, with a slight kind of psychotic grin on his face. The camera zooms, zooms out, slowly backs away from Batman, showing how alone he is right now, other than Lex in this thing. He's like, we are not prepared.
Yeah.
So, Batman leaves to the Batcave.
Not ready.
It's like, you just hear Batman go, yeet, as he runs out this freaking spaceship. He's like, nope.
He has a conversation with Alfred, and it ends with Batman saying, "I need to find them, Alfred." The movie, well, it ends as he goes into the Batmobile, speeding off, and just before it speeds off, and actually before that, like, canopy closes, I call it a canopy, I don't know what you would call it, for the Batmobile.
Yeah, it's canopy works.
Okay. Batman just tells Alfred, "We need to be ready." Closes, sees him, zoom off, cuts to black. That's the end of the movie. Great, right?
Yeah.
Now we...
So,
Oh, go ahead.
so am I to understand that it's pretty much the same, a lot of the same beats in terms of Batman and Superman?
Pretty much.
We're really just adjusting Lex's story here. Now, if I can make an adjustment to that, then Lex isn't the one who we can cut out Lex having tabs on all the metahumans. I would like Batman. He should be aware of all those people, especially if we've had a Flash movie and stuff and an Aquaman movie.
Right.
It should be Batman, and maybe Alfred was like, "Oh, and I made."
It's like,
these fun little designs for all the different people too,
right.
as opposed to just getting an email.
Right. I forgot to mention that. I just kind of left it assumed in my own mind. Sorry. So,
Just trying to make it easier for the listeners.
yeah, that makes perfect sense. Thank you for that, because that was the worst thing. It's like, it doesn't belong to you. The one thing I would love to keep if we kept this is Batman does some research. He finds out about Wonder Woman with a picture from World War, what was it, 1 or 2? I think it was 2.
It was 1.
It was 1. World War 1. It's like,
World War 1.
it doesn't belong to you. It is you. I love that, but it's like, I would love a post-credit scene to where after we see Wonder Woman just kind of like, whatever. She has a phone. She's about ready to get on an airplane. And before she boards, she gets an email from Bruce Wayne. All it has is that picture of her. Because, they met in the gallery thing. Because I like those scenes between him and Diana. I love those.
Oh, those are great.
Yeah. We kept those. We are not having her become a factor in a fight that doesn't exist. So there's still an interaction. So they know each other. But Batman just throws up that picture that he's had for a while. Because why not? And then he just goes, "We need to talk." End credit scene.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Good. So, next movie is going to be Justice League Part 1, as it always should have been.
Always.
Yes. So, the villains for this movie, the first villain in this movie is not Darkseid. It's going to be Steppenwolf. Because Steppenwolf leads not so much the scout troop, but more the invasion forces.
Okay.
But he's bringing someone with him. I hope you recognize this name, Brutal.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Because remember, Batman, on the end of BVS, Lex said, he has him now. So, this is 6 months after Batman v Superman. I would have thought a year, but I'm like, that's too far gone, too far along. So I was like, 6 months is enough time to do what Darkseid had to do and kind of move things on. So, first half. Wonder Woman comes to Bruce with information on the enemy who's coming to Earth, aka, again,
Steppenwolf and
right.
Brutal.
No, just Steppenwolf. They know nothing about Brutal.
Oh.
And here's the funny thing. I had written this before I even bought Justice League. And the funny thing is, I got a couple of things right on the head. It's like, I'll continue. You'll see what I mean in a second. It's like, they recruit Flash, Cyborg, but not Aquaman. Not yet. Not until Wonder Woman, well, again, this is the thing I kind of diversion, talks to him about the last time Apocalypse tried to invade, and it was the Green Lantern Corps, the Amazons, and the Atlanteans fighting side by side. So that part I got without even trying. So having this discussion with a fellow warrior and, I guess, royalty, he joins the team. Just before the climax of the movie, a green light shines and gets brighter and bigger until it crashes in the front of Batman, Aquaman, Flash, turn page, and Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman recognizes the symbol on the man's chest as a symbol of the Green Lantern Corps. The man introduces himself as Hal Jordan and lets them know that an invasion force is right behind him. Or an invasion force is coming. After that, Hal passes out. Think of this as like either the Silver Surfer or the Hulk in Infinity War or Infinity Gauntlet. Just like, Thanos is coming. You know, kind of like that whole thing.
All right.
Yeah, passes out. The Justice League, air quotes, forms, but without Superman. It's hard to keep hope alive. It's hard to keep hope, but without Superman, it's hard to keep hope alive. Okay, and that's how I wrote that. Okay, when Steppenwolf comes to Earth, he has. I took me a couple tries to spell this properly. Brutal. And for those who don't know, if you want to look this up, it's Brutaal. With him. How absolute. Okay. I put how instead of he, which makes less sense than if I actually put he, so I'm just going to cross that out and put he. Obviously, I didn't reread this after I wrote it. He wipes the...
We all make mistakes.
Yeah, he absolutely wipes the floor with the Justice League. And all this stuff is scratched off. Let's see, where am I going through here? When Brutal takes his helmet off and reveals Superman's face, before it fades to black, you see Superman. I was going to have him say Neil, which would have been a great turnabout, but I decided on a better line. In the name of Lord Darkseid, surrender or die, as his eyes glow red and then cuts to black.
Oh, wow. And that's where we're ending the movie.
Yeah. So this whole thing, it's just a lot. It's a lot of setup. It's a lot of. If you took Superman's resurrection fight and made it an entire, like, he has parademons and everything else with him and Steppenwolf, that's hard to kind of overcome. You know what I mean? And that's what would have made sense.
Yeah.
It's like, because what I would have liked to have seen or have done if we had Doomsday and Batman versus Superman. I would have loved in the Justice League movie that came out if they had Flash and Cyborg do the grave robbing thing, but his casket was empty.
That's what everyone thought for a while was going to happen.
Yeah, and that's what should have happened, but nope. Anyway, so yeah, that's the end of part 1. And then part 2. Let's see, picks up right where the last movie left off. The scene where Superman says, in the name of Lord Darkseid, surrender or die. Show the Justice League, Aquaman, Batman, Cyborg, Wonder Woman, and the Flash there, and behind them is one bystander with a look of determination and a willingness to fight. There is a flashback. Superman is strapped to a chair. Now, this also might sound familiar from the what's it called? Superman of the Animated Series, in the last 2 episodes of the series, the Legacy thing, where Superman is strapped to a chair, and the process of Superman's brainwashing. So he's just like, he's in the clutches of Granny Goodness. He has that metal thing on his head. He's just getting all of his memories shuffled around. That whole thing, remember? The last 2 episodes?
Yep.
Okay. That's why I was asking if it took a second or something. So that's the end of the flashback. Where is it? The bystander turns into Martian Manhunter, who joins the fight against Superman.
Whoa!
Yes. So that flashback wasn't a flashback from Superman. It is what Martian Manhunter was reading out of Superman's mind. And all the fans who know Martian Manhunter.
Oh, that's such a good turn.
Thank you. And all those who know Martian Manhunter's abilities will know that's what that would have been. And for those who don't, a couple minutes later, he'll be like, I read his mind. This is what happened. He's like, you can read minds? It's like, I would love, like, in the middle of the thing, it's like, they're all, like, trying to regroup. It's like, you read his mind? It's like, Batman goes, you can read minds? Barry Allen goes, please don't read mine. Barry's like, please don't read mine. It's like, all I would love to see is Manhunter go, first off, not the time, and second, you need help. He goes, oh. So that's how that would have worked. And that's something I kind of just came off on the top of the head, which is, again, it would have been afterwards, but it's fine. Who joins the fight against Superman again, and starts to affect Brutal as he writhes in mental agony. Then promptly gets punched in the face. I'm not sure. Yeah. So basically, it's like Superman or Brutal or Superman, whatever, is on one knee, like holding his head like he has a massive migraine. And as Manhunter gets closer, Superman just straight up uppercuts him like into the atmosphere. That's about what happens.
Oh,
yeah, like I said, it's like, you're getting annoying. Boof, like gone. So he's out of the picture for a second. Oh wait, no. Sorry, had that backwards actually. It's not Superman who punches the bystander. It's Manhunter punches Superman. Then when the League looks, because again he's about as strong as Superman. To the bystander, whose skin begins to turn green and his eyes turn red when they are ready for another fight. I guess I should have said that, or not so much that he turns into, it turns out to be, not turns into, but it turns out to be. Then the bystander introduces himself as John Jones, and let them know what he saw when he looked into Superman's mind. The League fights Superman out of his mind control. Again, both mental and physical, kind of keeping the physical body distracted and the conscious distracted, while Manhunter goes into the subconscious and releases his actual memories and kind of breaks it from there. So it's a battle on two fronts is basically what I'm getting at. While Superman while Superman tries to recover, there's a boom tube and Darkseid walks through, and starts to fight the completed Justice League now, until Flash puts a crowbar into Darkseid's eye, and Wonder Woman puts her sword into his other eye. Hence the new 52.
Oh.
Yeah, all of the new 52.
yeah.
You're like, Jesus. What was it? And Cyborg using the Mother Box tech that's a part of him, to open a boom tube to... this is going to sound really weird. To suck all the Parademons and Darkseid back to Apocalypse. And with one final push, they push back the threat. Once everything is said and done, they celebrate the victory. Their victory, like Wayne Tower, and not like Wayne Tower, but it's like at the mansion. And Batman can be like, okay, so now that we're finally formed, we need to have a meeting place so we can kind of plan for things like this again. It's like, what are you talking about, Bruce? And then he just pulls up a holographic blueprint of the Hall of Justice.
Oh, nice.
Yes, sir. So, there's that. Because I figure Justice League Watchtower satellite in the sky is a little too much right now. So, and that would end Justice League Parts 1 and 2. So, any notes so far for both Justice League movies before we go on?
So, in terms of the first Justice League movie, will you still have, while the League is fighting what is Brutal, later revealed to be Superman, will we still have maybe the best scene from
Aquaman and Cyborg? My man.
Oh. Sorry?
I thought you were going to say... I thought you were... Go ahead.
I'm talking about the scene where Superman's fighting the entire League, and Flash is like, I'm gonna get him. And
of
Superman
course.
just turns his head.
Yeah, he's like, of course.
That scene's got to be in there because that's some of the best shit.
Right, and it's like the one thing I would love to keep
because to me, there's some part of him that still remembers Batman at least, because Batman gave him so much crap the first time. I would love for him to pick him up and go, and this is before the face reveal. He goes, "Tell me, do you bleed?" And everyone's like, "What?" It's like, everyone, to those who paid attention to that one line, it's a better payoff than Martha, and it's also like the spoilers for Endgame, like "I am Iron Man" or "You're taking all the stupid with you" or "On your left." Like one of those things would just pay off, you know.
Yeah.
That
It would also.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. It would also be a really cool reveal if that was the moment where Batman put it together like 2 minutes before for the audience. Like, oh shit, this is cool.
Yeah. Or it's even better, it's like, or even better, to get out of Superman's grasp, he puts, instead of Superman taking off the helmet, or Brutal taking off the helmet, revealing himself to be Superman, Batman puts an explosive on Brutal's helmet. That makes the helmet explode, where the front part exposes the face, and you see it's, you know, Henry Cavill, aka Superman or whatever. And it was like, oh shit! It's like, since I know this won't kill you, explosive to the face. You know.
Yeah.
It won't be murder if you survive.
No, of course not.
Not that he has a problem with that. Anyway. But yeah.
Yeah. One more question. Do you have a preferred look for Darkseid at all, or just sticking like classic tunic, or the more armored New 52 era?
And to tell you the truth, my favorite Darkseid has always been. Did you watch the series finale of Justice League Unlimited?
Oh, of course I did.
That Darkseid.
That's a good Darkseid.
Yeah, it's like it's a nice blend of the two different ones, because that's, in my opinion, that's the precursor to the New 52 Darkseid, because it's still that armor-esque, but it's still also Darkseid from the animated series, you know? So it's a nice blend of the two. I mean, you can add a little gold in there if you want to, but it's kind of overkill for Darkseid. You know?
Nice.
Okay, so we're good with that there?
I think we're good on that one.
Oh, and one more thing. I want to see what you feel about this. Darkseid is voiced by none other than Gilbert Gottfried. No. Sorry, I couldn't resist, because I know how much you wanted Gilbert Gottfried as Mixie, so I was like, I'll throw that joke in there real quick.
Mixie.
Yeah, that's what I said. But no.
Well, to be fair,
I literally I can't hear you now. So all I heard was "to be fair," and then it just kind of went quiet.
Yeah, sorry, I thought you were saying something.
Oh, okay. No, you were saying "to be fair," and I stopped.
Oh, I said to be fair. You know, it's a choice having Gilbert Gottfried coming out of that monster of a body, but you know, it would really throw the league off their game, I think.
Yeah, no, that's actually not what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about either Clancy Brown or have Michael Ironside reprise the role.
You got to go Ironside, I think. Clancy Brown, Mr. Krabs will always be a really great voice, but Michael Ironside, there's just something sinister about his voice that you need for Darkseid.
Yeah, or if you really wanted to play up something like that, who's the guy who voiced God of Kratos in the first 3 God of War games? I know it's Teal'c. I can't remember the actor's name. Christopher something.
Oh my god, it's
Let me look it
up. It is. I honestly could not tell you. I'm drawing a complete blank on this.
That's why I'm going to look up. Stargate SG1 cast go. Christopher Judge. That's who it is. Have him voice.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, have him voice, if not physically like mocap. If he chooses. Have him
mocap Darkseid because he has a nice, powerful enough voice. And I'm like, how cool would it be for as both a video game and a comic nerd to have Kratos be Darkseid? Because if you think about it, he kind of is to the Greek gods and whatever other things he does. He's like, I'm going to wreck your shit now. No, you're not. Oh, God, he's wrecking our shit.
Oh, no.
It's like, he's not bluffing.
You know what? That's a great choice. That's a great choice.
Yeah. Okay, so we're good with Justice League then?
I think we're good with Justice League.
Cool.